people are feeling uneasy, and this is a consequence of liberalism's having made radical autonomy of the individual the greatest good. And we're seeing a logical working out of that. The more complete the autonomy of the individual becomes, the more comprehensive the state must become. Once you are liberated from tradition, from all inherited culture, the more you put Rousseau's ideas about that into practice, the stronger the state has to become, because something has to regulate behavior. And it's no longer the associations and traditions that people have now been liberated from, and that leaves the state as the only option. So there's a link between liberalism and totalitarianism.
In order for any kind of totalitarianism to exist, the basic communal identity of people has to collapse. The whole notion of totalitarianism is that every aspect of your life is a part of legal regulation, or can be regulated legally. That's what the word total means in it. Well, 2021 America, that's exactly what it is. You are under constant surveillance, whether it be your phone, or your work, your money, credit cards, everything else, Social Security, everything is under surveillance. When people talk about being free, there's no other way to laugh at them and realize that not only are they irrational, but usually they're suffering from some kind of cognitive dissonance. They want to talk about freedom on the one hand, and the fact that they're aware that there's cameras on them wherever they go. And that leads to these, outbursts and these obsessions and these addictions. But when you destroy what makes a person, and persons and individuals are two very different things. An individual is an ego. It's an isolated, almost a non-existent monad. That's a creation mostly of the philosophical imagination rather than reality. The person is someone that's created from communal institutions, whether it be the guild or the family, or the ethnicity, or the locality. That creates a person. An individual is a myth because nothing that a person can do comes from them. Everything from the language to the logic to the education, to how they think about the world, this comes from somewhere else. This is how they're raised. So to talk about individuals, you have to laugh. The question is whether or not the celebrities, the music, and the institution that the regime has created to form these people, whether the traditions of natural law be used to form these people, which is going to win. And right now, it's so much easier to indulge in passions. They have such a more powerful, such a vivid claim in the imagination than the more dry and difficult discipline of rational and civilized life. It's really hard to compete with the allures of money or women or whatever. It's really hard to compete with that. Philosophical natural law isn't quite as sexy as following your passions. It doesn't create this kind of imagination and the images that you have to have in your head to pursue this course. And that's the struggle. That's why the sexual realm had to be so tightly regulated. I mean, vehemently regulated because of how powerful that is. Well, postmodernity is based on the, as E. Michael Jones will tell you, so-called liberation of this incredibly powerful drive. Then they complain as what's going to happen about rape and fatherless kids and destroyed families. That was inherent in what they were doing. It's liberation. Liberation into what? Liberation so what can happen? The fact that no one asked that and no one can answer that shows you just how bankrupt the whole system is.